All right, Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Welcome to another show, another Mr. Islam Answers Back show live. Greetings to all you out there. As I always do, let me go ahead and send out I just sent out a tweet, but let me go ahead and send out some other tweets. Tell everybody to join us live right now. Oops. Wait. It's live right now. All right. Let's see here. Send out another tweet so that everybody knows. With me. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, so let's get this going. Let's get this thing going on. Let's get it going. Let's get it going on. So, this show is prompted because I just happened to because this debate was years ago. You know what I mean? So, but I was just going through my channel and I just had decided to stop on the video and said, let me see what's going on in the comment section. So I look in the comment section and I see that I got a lot of haters. But that's no problem. I'm used to that. I'm used to the haters and the bigots and the racist punks out there. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. But I was just looking at the comments and I'm like, from what I'm reading, I'm like, because of course these guys are all like, just like with Christian Prince, right? And many of these people, they have their fans, they have their cheerleaders who are, they're not neutral, they're biased, they're not objectified in their, in their outlook. And I'm looking at some of the things that these idiots are saying, and I'm like, damn, did y'all even watch the debate? Like you're gonna see. I'm gonna show you. One guy says something that I know was a complete lie. I'm like, did you even watch? Did you even listen to the damn debate? But that's how people are. You know what I mean? That's especially these idiot bigots out there. That's how they are. You know what I mean? They basically just tone and turn you out, right? They don't even listen to our counter arguments, right? Because they're so busy hung up on trying to as I've said before many times, that these people want to believe the lie. They want to believe the lie. They want to believe that Islam is evil. They want to believe that all Muslims are out to kill them and take over the world. They want to believe that. You see? So when we bring the counter arguments that refute that, because I clearly did that during this debate against Robert Spencer, I clearly presented the evidence, the verses, the scholars. I hit it from every angle to make it clear that this guy and the claims that these people were making is an outright lie. I even brought in political information to show them, right? So I covered every angle possible. And here I'm looking in the comment section and I still see the idiots talking that garbage, proving to me that these people don't listen. They're going to believe what they're going to believe. If a person is convinced and wants to believe that you're evil or whatever, you can't really change their mind, right? All you can do is put the information out there, and those who are sincere and honest will see it, right? Those who are sincere and honest will see it. Because I remember after the debate, maybe like, 2 or 3 people came up and said they could, they get my point, they understand, whatever, right? Of course, the majority of the people went away thinking they were biggest, because that was a hostile environment, right? When I was there, because I wasn't the only debate. It was a series of speeches and lectures and other debates that day, right? Me and Robert Spencer were not the only debate that day. So even when the other stuff was going on, I'm sitting in the audience and I'm hearing the comments in the audience, right? There was another brother who spoke, who debated, and then there was this one guy who gave a little lecture about Islam or whatever, you know what I mean? And I'm hearing the comments, people behind me, sitting around me. I'm surrounded by a bunch of goddamn bigots. That's right. Anybody who was there and you listening, that's right. I'm saying it. That's right. Because I'm sitting there, I'm hearing people behind me making comments and all kind of, and I'm like, damn, I want to say something, you know what I mean? But of course, I'm in the audience, so I'm listening to the debate. So you know, you gotta have your etiquette, you know what I'm saying? But I'm hearing all this BS behind me, around me, next to me, you know what I mean? I'm like, I want to turn around and say something to these people saying all this BS, but you know, I was respectful. I said, all right, I'll get them when I get up on the stage. You know what I mean? But of course, I had to deal with Robert Spence. I touched on it a little bit during the debate, the stuff that I was hearing out in the audience. But, you know, so it was a hostile audience anyway. You know what I'm saying? But, so, like I said, I come to the comment section and I'm looking at the comments and I'm looking at people. I'm like, yo, these people, it's obvious that these people are blind following cheerleaders. Just like with Christian Prince. We see, alhamdulillah, that myself and a number of other brothers, Muslim allegation hunters, the brother Farid, a number of other brothers, you know, they all, you know, we're all making videos exposing Christian Prince, his lies, his tactics, how he misrepresents, misquoted, doesn't know the Arabic, whatever, right? But his fans are still behind him. His fans are just blind to this information. They're acting like they don't see it. They're acting like they don't see that he's been lying to them, that he's been misrepresenting stuff, that he's been omitting, you know, parts of the information, that he's not showing them what the full tafsir said or the full verse said. They're acting like they don't see this stuff, and they still cheerlead for him. They still support him. So obviously that's just the way, you know, people are. That's just normal, right? Because they're not sincere in the first place, right? They're not sincere in the first place. So you see that Christian Prince is, even though he's being refuted, you know, so clearly that, but yet they're still behind his back. They're still claiming that the brothers aren't doing anything. That they're you know what I mean? You're not exposing him. You didn't do nothing. That, you know. And I'm like, wow, the cognitive dissonance, the delusional attitude of these people is amazing. You know what I'm saying? So. But so like I said, yeah, I'm making this video because I went to the comment section and I'm looking. I'm like, yo, these people are saying a lot of idiotic stuff. You know, so we're gonna go through the comment section, right? Here's what we're gonna do in this video. We're gonna go through the comment section, and I'm gonna, like it says, I'm gonna respond. I'm gonna respond to the. I mean, some of them are like 2 years old or 3 years. You know, it doesn't matter. Still, I'm still gonna go through them, and I'm gonna respond in real time to the comments in the comment section. Because it's just amazing some of the stuff that these idiots are saying and we're saying in the comment section. But as I said, typical cheerleaders, right? Typical cheerleaders, you know. And I would say this too, that as Muslims, you know what, we got to support the Muslims out there that are doing work. Because clearly the video has been watched by a bunch of haters more so than the Muslims. Because most of the comments are about the haters. You know what I'm saying? But no problem. But so what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to go through the comments in real time. And I'm going to respond to them in real time. By the way, I don't know if you guys can see it, but in the live comment section right now, there was this guy, John C. John C, are you still there? John C, are you still there? John C, this guy made a comment in the live comment section right now talking about, hey, can you explain why in your video on 86.7 you lied about what Jalalain and Ibn Kathir say in their respective tafsir? I don't know what the hell you're talking about, John C, because in the video, I actually show what was said. So I don't know what you're talking about, what I lied about. Everything I talked about in the video, I displayed it on the screen. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about, lied about anything, friend, sir. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. What did I lie about? How I lied? Okay, if you saw the video, I show everything I'm talking about. I referenced everything I said in that video to show you idiots that the verse is not saying that sperm comes from the man's rib, between the man's ribs and backbone, or from the man's backbone. Okay, so I don't know what you're talking about. Can I explain why I lied? Because I showed everything in the video. I referenced the sources in the video. So, you know, another hater, another blind hater. Okay, but like I said, John C, if you're there, you can tell me how I lied. You can explain to me how I lied, or how I allegedly lied. But as I said, the video, I already showed everything in the video, right? I know I referenced everything in the video. So, you know, if you want to make your argument, by all means, I'll be waiting for you in the comment section, looking at you, you know, in the live chat, if you want to say something about that. In the meantime, let's go on ahead, everybody, and get to these comments. Let's get to these comments in the from the haters. All right, let's get to these comments from the haters. All right, let's see. All right, so here we go on the screen, right? Everybody see that live on the screen? All right, very good, very good. So let's scroll down to the comment section, and let's get a glimpse at what some of the idiot haters has to see. All right, so the first guy here, he's saying, let me make sure you guys can see that. You guys can see that, right? On the screen? Okay, good. You can see that. Yes, you can. Very good, very good. All right, so let's see. So the first guy says, Shadid Lewis seems to react nervously to Robert Spencer's arguments. He is a Muslim convert. I wonder if he knows the true history of Arab slavery. What's that got to do with anything? What's that got to do with anything? Somebody responded, what does Arab slavery have to, exactly? What does Arab slavery, exactly. What does Arab slavery have to do with Islam? The Arabs were doing slavery before Islam. So what does Arab slavery particularly got to do with Islam? See, these are the stupid arguments that these people make. Because they can, and notice he ain't addressing nothing in the topic of the debate, right? He's giving me his opinion. Oh, I reacted nervously. What's that got to do with the debate? Why? Notice he's not addressing anything of an argument that I made, though. You see? And so, like the person responded, Obsidian 555 says, what does Arab slavery have to do with Islam? It began well before Islam. And what about Christian European slavery, which was on a far grander scale? Exactly. Next person, Shadid. No true Scotsman. Robert, let me quote your own text. Good job, Spencer. You show Islam what it is. Bobby, what's your name? Bobby Gnosis? No, sir. First of all, if you would have listened to the debate, I exposed how Robert Spencer was not quoting our own text, how he was misquoting our own text, how he was leaving things out from our own text. So again, the proof that people just follow along blindly, right? You're just cheerleading for your guy, but you're not listening to the arguments because you want to believe the hate. You want to believe the hype, right? You want to believe the hate. You want to believe the hype. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Let's see what the responses were. Somebody said a couple of responses. All right. It says, somebody says, Matt, what? Well, there was a time when there were over 5 million registered members of the KKK. All right, they're going to do it. What's this? Somebody posted some site. Radical... murdered or injured. Okay, well, some kind of radical asylum seekers have murdered or injured. This is that propaganda. Matter of fact, get this bullshit out off my sites, man. Don't be using my page and my videos to be posting your propaganda websites. Okay, get that crap out of here. And then this guy here, Gary Candace, ridiculous. 32,000 attacks since 2001 from jihadis, and they point to a non-existent group from the distant past who killed several hundred people over what? What the hell is he talking about? What? A non-existent group? What? And they point to a non-existent group from the... He's saying the KKK is a non-existent group? Really? He's going to sit here and try to say that the KKK was a non-existent group? See, these people are delusional, man. They're so blinded by their hate that they're even making completely stupid arguments. The brother Sammy pulled this card about the hypocrisy about the KKK. So this dude, his response is, oh, they point to a non-existent group. No, sir, the KKK definitely was not a non-existent group. Let's see, next person. Is this even a question anymore? Do we really need to listen to supposedly learned people to make a decision on this? Again, the blind hatred, the blind bigotry. That isn't even a question anymore, right? In other words, is it even a question that if Islam is a religion of peace or not? See, they a lot of these people, like I said, they're already in their box. And they want to stay in it. See? This is the proof that these people are biased. They're not listening. They're not listening because they don't want to listen. It's the same thing with any other group. They don't want to listen to black people when black Americans tell them about racism. They don't want to listen. They're arrogant. They're a bunch of arrogant pricks. See? They don't want to hear anything else except what they think is already in their head. So when black people talk about racism, they don't want to hear it because they don't want to change it. They don't want to hear it because they don't want to change. So to them, do we even have, they don't even want to talk about it. So it's the same thing here when it comes to talking about Islam. The fact that he would even make this argument that, oh, do you even have to question it anymore? Well, the fact that I was able to prove that Islam was a religion of peace makes my case. That it is. That yes, we do have to question the fact. And the fact that, see, and I said this during the debate too. The fact that I have to even debate this with a bunch of your Caucasians who are the descendants of the most murderous people on this earth is really the thing that really gets my goat. And I said that during the debate too, that I'm like, it's funny that we have to keep debating this question, is Islam a religion of peace, when and that I have to do it in response, like as if I have to answer to these people who are the people who have a history of violence. I said that, right? I was like, it's funny that we got to keep debating this question, because when they called me for the debate, I even asked them, I said, hey, is it possible that we could make it, is Islam or Christianity a religion of peace? So that way I could have, I could go into and show, how Christianity has a history of violence and still is violent today. But no, they didn't want to do that. I said, okay, no problem. No problem. I'll debate, is Islam religion of peace? But I brought it up that it's funny how I have to, because I've had this topic several times, right? You remember my debate in California when I debated against David Wood. I debated against that guy Daniel Scott. It was the same topic. Is Islam a religion of peace, or some variation of it? Is Islam a religion of peace? Is Islam a threat to the West? And I'm like, it's ironic that I have to keep having this topic, or that we Muslims have to keep answering this question, and it's funny that we have to answer it to the people who don't have a moral high ground to be asking us this question in the first place. It's interesting that we got to keep having this topic against people who have the history of so far being the most violent, racist people on this earth. So I got to debate these people on if my religion is the religion of peace. Meanwhile, they have a history of violence and of racism and of bigotry and of invasions and colonialism and imperialism and subjugation. But we gotta keep answering, but we gotta keep being obligated to answer to them. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? We gotta keep being on the defensive to answer to these people who don't have any moral standing to deserve the damn answer in the first place. We should be talking to them and asking them, are you a people of peace? Right? But we got to keep asking that. We got to keep answering to them about if Islam is a religion of peace. Is Islam a threat to the West? So in some of these debates, like when I did the one in California with Daniel Scott and David Wood, I did it in this debate too. I reminded them in brief that, y'all the ones with all the nuclear weapons. Y'all the ones who created all these nuclear bombs. Y'all the ones who dropped the bombs on Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Civilians. You didn't drop it on the Japanese army. So I had to touch briefly because I didn't want to take too much away from the debate. But I had to remind them that, y'all really got a lot of nerve to be trying to ask if Islam is the religion of peace when y'all have a history of violence against Muslims, right? Religious persecution, violence against Muslims, religious, right? But also racial violence against black people, Arabs, native indigenous people, right? Asians, Far East Asians. You got a history of this all over the earth. You're still doing it. You're still doing your missile strikes and your invasions and your occupations and your sanctions and your other underhanded activities that you do to abuse and harm people of color on this earth. But we got to keep answering to you like you deserve a damn answer in the first place on who is you know what I mean? Like we got to keep answering to them. It would be like Hitler questioning you about, your character, and and we already know who Hitler is. That's what this is like. This is like as if Hitler is asking you, are you a person of peace? Are you a person of peace? Like, mother, bastard, you. Are you? What about you? Who are you to be asking if we're the people of peace? While ignoring that you are the one out here committing chaos upon this earth. But enough of my rant. Let's go in some more to the comment. There's one I want especially to you guys to see, to show you that this person clearly is a complete liar. All right. Here this person says, what's this? Even evil men desire peace, but it is a peace of their own making. St. Augustine. That's interesting that what's your name? Gridcaster would reference St. Augustine, who was of the Catholics, when we know the violence of the Catholics. See, this is what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. He says Islam has never historically been a religion of peace. A lie. Liar. And again, he had the nerve to quote St. Augustine, a father of the Catholics, everybody. We know the history of the Catholics. We know about the Inquisition, you dummy. We know about the pogroms. We know how the Catholic Church wreaked havoc in Central and South America. How the hell is this guy sitting here talking about Islam has never historically been a religion of peace and has the nerve to quote one of the leaders of the Catholic Church, St. Augustine? You see what I'm saying? This goes to show you the blind arrogance of these people. The fact that this bastard is sitting here quoting St. Augustine, a leader of the Catholic Church, a church system that again has wreaked havoc on Latin America and the Caribbean and in Europe too. Let's not forget what they did in Europe amongst their own people. Wow. I mean, it's amazing, the stupidity, the blind arrogance. But again, this is that egocentric, Eurocentric way of thinking. I've spoken about this before, where they do not think that the stuff that they done was evil or wrong. They're so blinded by their Eurocentric way of thinking that they don't even, like, I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like the fact that he would use St. Augustine. He would quote St. Augustine, completely, obviously oblivious to the hell that the Catholic Church wreaked on this earth. But he's quoting St. Augustine. And got the nerve to talk about Islam historically has never been a religion of peace. That's a lie, sir. That's a lie. You got to know that you're lying. You got to know that you're lying. He says the best possible peace that the Islam offers is to be conquered, forced into submission, or to bear the yoke of the second-class serfdom. Yeah, whatever. You see? Yeah, Again, ignoring, he says Islam has never been peaceful. Amazing. Again, they always ignore the start when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had been called to be a prophet, and how the Prophet was peacefully preaching that they should not worship idols. And the history says, right? They could read it for themselves, that the Quraysh began to persecute the Muslims first. So what is he talking about? That it's never been peaceful. I mean, it's amazing, man. But again, this is the blind idiocy, the blind, arrogance that they have, that they just follow along with stupidity. This person here made the most stupidest argument I ever seen. He said, notice that Shadid Lewis in his opening remarks wished peace in Arabic only to the Muslims in the audience. First of all, there weren't any Muslims in the audience that I was aware of. Like I told you, I was sitting in the audience before I took my debate with Robert Spencer started. So I already knew it was a hostile audience, right? So I don't recall whether I said Assalamu alaikum to the Muslims only. I don't even recall saying that. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. If I did do that though, then it was based upon the fact that I was already sitting in the audience and I heard all the hostile comments while I was sitting there. People, like I said, people are next to me, behind me. I'm hearing all kind of comments in the audience while one of the dudes was up there talking all that anti-Islamic BS. So if I did say peace to the Muslims in the audience, like I said, there weren't any Muslims that I saw in the audience anyway, from what I recall. But if I did start it like that, then I had a justified reason to say that, because I already knew the audience was hostile. I already knew it was a hostile audience because I was sitting amongst the audience before my debate with Spencer, listening to all the other speakers and lecturers and debates. Okay? But the fact that this guy says that undermines his argument, again, you know what? I've been noticing that too. These people come up with the most asinine, illogical arguments that I've seen a lot. The fact that this guy would say, oh, that undermines my argument. How does it undermine my argument? How does me, if I said peace to the Muslims, that undermines my argument? How would that undermine my argument in any way, shape, or form? Just because I may have said peace to the Muslims only, which, like I said, I don't recall doing that. But again, if I did, I know the context of what my experience was in that audience. You don't. You weren't there. If you weren't there, I was there. So if I did do that, then I know the reason why. You don't. You weren't there. I know that the audience was hostile because I was sitting in the audience first before my debate started with Spencer. So if I did do that, then I had a legitimate reason to do that because I knew the audience was already hostile and biased against me already. But still, how would that undermine my argument? Because if you watch the debate, I already had proved that Islam was a religion of peace. I showed how Islam says that there can be peace between Muslims and non-Muslims. And they don't have to be dhimmis either. I showed that during the debate as well. So again, this just shows that these people are idiots. They're just simple-minded idiots. Okay? This person here, the next person, what's this? Cake Baby Man. He said, what does he say? You don't have the argument, evidence to counter, sir, baby cakes, cake baby man, whatever the hell. Did you watch the debate? Did you listen? See, this lets me know these people didn't listen, right? They probably just tuned me right out. Because they're already convinced. See, they're already convinced that Islam is evil. So he probably just tuned me right out. He might have even skipped past my parts. He probably didn't even listen to my part. He probably said, you know what? Let me just skip to Robert Spencer's parts. Because if you listen to the debate, Cake Baby Man, you would have heard very clearly, very roundly and soundly how I countered Robert Spencer's arguments in this debate. Countered them from every angle, from Hadith, from Quran, from scholars, even from political information. So I don't know how you could sit there and say that I didn't counter them or I don't have the arguments to counter unless you didn't listen. Unless you didn't listen to the debate at all. Okay. Here's another person. This is this guy, Gene Douglas. Again, this is a cheerleader comment. This is just a cheerleader comment. He says, only 9 minutes into and can see that Spencer will make mincemeat of this young man. He is not debating. He is defensive. Yes, I was debating. I gave my arguments very soundly and effectively. So this is just a cheerleader comment right here. He is not debating. He is defensive. Okay, wow, this is stupidity. And is either incorrect on many points. I wasn't incorrect on any of my points. Robert Spencer was, and I proved that. In which case, so again, you see the way this guy's talking. This proves he obviously didn't listen. I guess he only listened to 9 minutes and then he stopped because you could see the way the way his language is. He's making assumptions and is obviously not based on the facts. He says he is not debating. He is defensive and is either incorrect on many points, in which case he probably should not be. So obviously you didn't even listen to see the rest of the debate. Or he is practicing taqiyya. So here comes the taqiyya argument again. See, again, these people already have these preconceived biases in their heads, right? They already have their preconceived biases in their heads. So that's what happens. So if I prove you wrong, oh, now it's taqiyya. So when I make good points and prove that Robert Spencer was lying or wrong or he omitted some information that would have refuted his claim of the context, oh, you're doing taqiyya. So it's like we can't win for losing, right? If we make our point and we prove Islam is peaceful and good, oh, that's taqiyya. See? It's taqiyya. So you can't win with the devils. All right? You can't win with the devils. You can't win with these bigots because if you make a good point, oh, it's taqiyya. So again, they go into self-delusion. They self-delude themselves to not want to accept the information. So they say, oh, that's taqiyya. He's doing taqiyya. Because they know it sounds good. They know my argument was strong. So instead of them just saying, oh, wow, he made a good point there. No, that's taqiyya. See? The bigots give themselves something to not accept the truth. It's taqiyya. See? He made a good point, but now I can't accept that. So I'm going to just say it's taqiyya. Because I don't want to stop being, right? They don't want to stop being bigots. They don't want to let it go. So no, we can't accept that he made good points. We can't accept that he proved that Robert Spencer was omitting information. We can't accept that Robert Spencer left off the next verse that proved that it wasn't, about attacking all unbelievers, or we can't admit that. So instead, let me just say takia, so that way I can keep being a hater. So I can keep hating on Muslims, hating Islam. Let me just say takia. Sorry people, man, very sorry people. Here's another cheerleader comment. I'm embarrassed for Mr. Lewis. No, don't be embarrassed for me. Be embarrassed for Robert Spencer. Why do you think Robert Spencer hasn't had a debate with me since? Matter of fact, I don't think he's debated any Muslim since then, has he? Why not? As far as I know, my debate with that last debate with me and him, that was it. He ain't had no debates against a Muslim since then. Why not? Ask yourself why. And why haven't they called me to debate him again? Why haven't they called me to debate him again? Now what he does now, as far as I know, is just lectures by himself, because he knows damn well you can't roll with a Muslim who knows what they're talking about. Matter of fact, I heard the brother, I think, was it Muhammad Hijab, I heard challenged him recently. But he told the brother you got to pay him $20,000. See, that's a way to keep yourself protected. Oh, okay. Let me make myself look good. I'll debate you, but I need $20,000. Who the hell paying $20,000 for a debate? Who the hell paying $20,000 for a debate? Who do you think you are? A rock star or something? What are you, a rock star? You need to be paid $20,000 for a debate? But that's the way to keep him safe, right? And I mean, what I mean safe from being exposed further. So now that'll be his defense mechanism. Oh yeah, I'm a tough guy. I'll debate you, but I need $20,000. Who got $20,000 for a debate? For a debate, $20,000? But I told them, and then remember, guys, remember what I told you. These guys get paid a lot of money to spread misinformation against Islam. I remember back in the days when I first got on YouTube and I was making videos refuting that guy Waleed Shoebat. They were saying that even back then, this was in the early 2000s, this guy was getting paid $13,000 to do a lecture at a college by himself, not even a debate. $10,000 to $13,000 per speech. Per speech. 10 to 13, not $13, $10,000 to $13,000 to do a speech at a college for maybe an hour and a half. 13,000, and that was back in the early 2000s. And then you guys wonder why I'm always telling we need your support. We need your. I mean, I don't need you to give me that much, but we need your support, right? All of us, all the brothers out there and sisters out there, if there are any sisters out who are in this kind of work, we need support. We need the Muslims to support. I know I always say that, but it's true. It's true, because look how much these guys are getting paid to spread misinformation. If we're going to have an information, a segment for us to put out our information, well, we need the funding to do the same thing. We need the funding so that way we can do the same thing. But as I said, that $20,000 thing that he told the brother Muhammad Hijab, that's just a way for him to save face, so it doesn't look like he's running, right? That's a way to make it look like I'm not running. So I'll say, oh yeah, I'll debate you, but you got to give me $20,000 to do it. See, that's a way of him saying I'm running away, but not without having to say it, because he knows more than likely who gonna come up with $20,000 to pay one man. If you get $20,000, what's the other person supposed to get? I wonder, did they pay him $20,000 for my debate? I didn't get no $20,000. I don't even think I got $1,000 for that debate. I forgot how much I got for that debate. But it wasn't even $1,000. It wasn't even $1,000. It wasn't even close to $1,000 as far as I remember. Right? It wasn't even close to that. I wonder how much they paid him. I really do. I really want, I wonder how much they paid Robert Spencer. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much he got paid for that debate, because that debate was sponsored by the Catholic Conference. So I don't know how much they paid him for that debate. But I know I didn't even get $1,000 for the debate. So I wonder, did they pay him $20,000? I wonder. I don't know. Matter of fact, next time in the future, I need to make sure. I need to check, because I need to get paid comparable. If my opponent is getting paid $20,000, hey, you better break me off good too then. Right? Now I understand he's on their side, so you can give him a little more. But if you paying him $20,000, shoot, then you better give me like 10, 15. right? If you can afford to give your guy 20,000, then shoot, again, like I said, I understand he's on your side, so you want to give him a little more. But shoot, you got to be giving me, as the other debater, something comparable, right? That's only fair. Am I right? But as I said, after that debate, I noticed that I didn't see him do any more debates after that. I didn't see him do any more debates against Muslims after that. He just went on and kept doing lectures by himself. He did single lectures by himself. I don't think he's debated a Muslim since. And like I said, the brother Muhammad Hijab has challenged him recently, but he wants $20,000. He wants $20,000. Amazing, right? So why hasn't he debated anybody else after me, Mr. or Mrs. Brooklyn Speaks? Ask your champion why he hasn't debated any Muslims after that, after my debate with him. If you're embarrassed me, though, don't be embarrassed for me, and be embarrassed for your man's there. Be embarrassed for your champion, your so-called champion. Because after that, he didn't debate. No, he hasn't debated any more Muslims after that debate against me. And you know what the reason is? Because of course he got exposed. See? He got exposed. He was going against a Muslim who knows what he's talking about, who had all the information to refute and knock down and debunk and rebut all his points. And he knows that doesn't look good in his audience. He needs you guys to believe the lie. He needs you guys, just like Christian Prince. They need you to believe the lie so you can keep giving them money and giving them support. Because they know if they go against a real challenge, that they will get themselves embarrassed. And it won't look good. And their support will begin to wane. And they don't want that. They don't want that. Right? They want that money to keep coming in. They want you to keep giving them that money and supporting them. They can't afford to lose face. They can't afford to look bad in front of their sheeple of fans out there. So Brooklyn Speaks, no, you don't got to be embarrassed with me. You don't got to be embarrassed with me, because I know I did a good job in that debate. I know I presented the evidence that roundly and soundly defeated Robert Spencer's claims. You know, one of the things that I loved the most in that debate was when I exposed him for Surah 4, 89, and 90. To me, that was the best part of the debate, because I exposed how he was misleading his audience, and I called him out on it in front of everybody, because he was trying to say, oh, this verse says, to kill. He was saying that he was trying to make the argument that the verse was saying to kill unbelievers or kill apostates or whatever the case may be, right? And then I was like, ooh, Allah gave me that one. So Allah gave me an alley-oop, figuratively speaking, right? Allah threw me an alley-oop on that one, and I slam dunked it. I slam dunked it, and I broke the rim that it was such a good alley-oop right there, because he didn't use he did not tell the audience about the next verse. So when it was my turn, I got him. When it was my turn, I said, you see, audience, you see what I'm saying, how he's misinforming you? The very next verse says, do not fight. Or it says to fight, but do not. But if the person, it comes to you and they're not trying to fight you, or they're people and they want peace, then you should be at peace with them. Allah does not give you any way over them. That was the very next verse. I said, everybody, that's the next verse. And see, this is the proof of what I'm talking about. He's misinforming you. How could he miss the very next verse? I said it in front of the whole audience. Embarrassed his ass. Exposed him as leaving off the next verse that would disprove his claim. The next verse disproved his claim. I exposed him. That shows he was dishonest. That shows you he's a liar, and that shows you that he's purposely misinforming you idiotic sheep out there that follow and listen to him. So I love that. To me, that was the best part of the verse, of the debate, because I exposed how he was leaving off stuff. How the next verse proved that the Quran was not saying that you kill unbelievers just at free will and random. It clearly said that if the person comes to you and they're not trying to fight you, and they're not trying to fight their own people, and they are, or they go to a people between you and whom there is a treaty, it says that Allah does not give you any way against them, because they don't want to fight you, so don't fight them. They want peace, then be at peace. Allah, it says very clearly, Allah does not give you away against them. It was the very next verse, everybody. How could he have missed it? He couldn't have missed it. I don't even give him the benefit of the doubt. He could not have missed it because it's right there on the same page. It's the next verse. So he couldn't have missed it. So that means he intentionally only told them the one verse. He intentionally told them the one verse. And he lied. He was dishonest. So you don't got to be embarrassed for me at all, Brooklyn Speaks. Be embarrassed for your man. Be embarrassed for your man. What's this guy? Basba Qual said, defensive jihad, he's laughing out loud. Okay, yeah. Meanwhile, I proved it in the debate, though, right? I proved it. I gave Surah 2, verse 190. I showed various other verses, all the verses showing that the Muslims were fighting back in self-defense. All the time. I showed it. I read the statements from scholars. So now they want to make mockery. Oh, defensive jihad, defensive jihad. Yeah, it's real, Basba. It's real. I proved it. I know you guys don't like it. Oh, well. Too bad for you. Too bad for you. This person, Hulkster, says, Lewis and his silly book and some unknown scholar, the scholars that, again, these are childish statements. These comments are childish. These are just childish comments. Childish comments, right? Childish comments. They don't deserve a response. Unknown scholars, yeah, whatever. He says, Islam is so evil, it has covered the ears of Western leaders with fear. And look at this one. Y'all see this one on the screen? Look at, oh wow, look at this, everybody. Look what he did. This person, you see, this is a proof that they don't listen. This Jason Smith person is a proof that these people are blind jackasses and don't listen. You know how I know it? Any Muslim who knows those verses he just posted, chapter 2, verse 191, you notice how they always leave off the verse right before it. It's 2 verse 190. Everybody, what does it say? 2:190 says, what? Fight back against those who attack you, but do not be the aggressor. But whenever the haters post it, Jason Smith, they always leave off verse 190. You know why they do that, brothers and sisters? You already know it because I already talked about this subject numerous times before. But they always leave off 190 because it refutes their claim. And it sets the context of 191 to 193. So instead of getting 190, they start at 191 and forget that the verse right before it clearly says, fight back against those who attack you, but do not be the aggressor, Jason Smith. How'd you miss that, Jason Smith? You know what? You didn't miss it. You intentionally, just like Robert Spencer, you intentionally left off that verse because that verse refutes your claim that Islam is a religion that wants to aggress upon unbelievers for no reason other than they're unbelievers. So you left off that verse because it refutes you. And again, like I said, brothers and sisters, I don't give these people the benefit of the doubt. I don't think that he missed it because, again, he couldn't have missed it. It's the verse right before it. If he read 291, he would have had to have seen 190. He would have had to have seen it. So there's no way he could miss it. So these people do not deserve the benefit of the doubt that he made a mistake, that he missed it, because you can't miss it. And then look what he did, everybody. Lo and behold, I was just talking about 489 and 90. Look what he just did. He did the same thing Robert Spencer did. This proves that these jackasses are not listening. He couldn't have watched the debate, Jason. You didn't watch it. You could not have watched the debate because in the debate, I actually addressed 489. That's the verse that Robert Spencer, just like you, only quoted it, but you ignored the next verse says that if they leave, but they do not try to fight you, or they go to a people between whom you and there is a treaty, and they're not trying to fight you or their people, and they want peace, Allah says, be at peace with them. Allah does not give you any justification to have fights with them or be hostile to them or anything. So you, Jason, you know what, Jason, just for that, I know it was 2 years ago, I'm removing your comment off my page, because this proves you didn't listen to the debate, and this proves you're a liar. You quoted 2 verses from the Quran, both of which, if you would have quoted the verse before it or after it, would have shown you that your argument is wrong. So just for that, Jason Smith, goodbye. Your comment is removed. Get it off my page. All right. Here's this. What's this person? Sami Samat. Call all the jihadists uneducated. Discredit certain imam. Discredit Al-Azhar. Taqiyya at its best. No, Sammy. The truth is the truth. First of all, I quoted other scholars that said that whatever scholars were saying that you believe in were wrong. So I didn't. It's not about me discrediting. It's not like I discredited the scholars, some of these scholars, based upon my own opinion. I gave other qualified scholars who said those other scholars were wrong. You don't like it. See, you just don't like it that I'm proving that the view you have of Islam is wrong. Okay. And by the way, what discredit of Al-Azhar? I actually quoted in the debate a scholar from Al-Azhar, one of the head jurists, who I quoted, who talked about defensive jihad, who said that jihad is only in self-defense, and that if it's offensive, it's only offensive in the sense that the Muslims are aware of an imminent threat, which is still a self-defense, by the way. If you know that there's an imminent threat and you hit first because you already know the person was getting ready to hit you, that's still self-defense. You know that, right? It's offensive, but it's self-defense because the person was getting ready to strike first. But all you did was hit them before they could hit you. But you did it based upon the fact that you knew they were going to hit you. So that's self-defense still, Sammy. But again, see how everything is taqiyya. Everything is taqiyya. And yes, the jihadists are uneducated. I proved that during the debate also. So you know what I mean? Like I read other scholars who said that the jihadists, these people running around talking about jihad, don't know what they're talking about. These people just don't like it. You're just mad that I refuted the false Islam that you have in your imagination. You don't like that I challenged the false image of Islam that you have in your imagination, which is the Islam that's evil and violent. You didn't like the fact that I proved that you're going to have to let that go. And you don't, like I said, these people don't want to let it go. They don't want to let it go. Poran, good job. Yeah, see, really, as you can see, people, basically, my video has been watched by a lot of haters. Right? So no blessing of Robert Spencer on my page. Get off my page. Off my page. What's this person saying? If a magic book can be interpreted in various ways, it is by definition not the word. What? Again, get off. Goodbye. Get out. Off my page. This stupidity. He says that Muslim doesn't look. So you see, here we go with the bias. So as you notice, their arguments are not arguments. Right? Notice nobody's saying, oh, well, at this part, you got refuted. Notice they're all just making up stuff. You notice that, right? You see the comment? Look at this part. He's just talking about me with his bias. See, this is the same racism. Oh, you might as well say, hey, you might as well. This is why these idiots are the ones that they racial profile people, right? I guarantee this person racial profiles people too. Probably sees a black person and he thinks he's a thug or a criminal or whatever, or a rapper. Just looking at him, as you can see, right? He's already judging me that from the way. How do I look? How do I look dishonest? How does a person look dishonest, sir? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. He's just spitting taqiyya. See, it's always taqiyya. It's always taqiyya. What's your name? Lord, sir, whatever. Get out. Off my page. Goodbye. Get out. We don't need you here. Right? You're right. Throw away that book. Okay, I don't know what he's talking about there. He says this person, Aid Fagan, says the peaceful verses serve only as a smokescreen for the more violent, hateful. Yeah, again, you see? They always have to excuse themselves. So this person, at least this person is acknowledging that they're peaceful verses. But now it has to be a sinister reason. Now the peaceful verses are just smoke screens. See? I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, these people are just bigots. And nothing you say is going to change their mind. This is a proof of it. So he's admitting that they're peaceful verses, but now it's still evil. The peaceful verses are just smoke screens. Oh boy. You know what? You two, off my page. Get out. Off. Nope. Out. Get out of here. It says Spencer, let's be another idiot. Spencer should actually never have debated this amateur. That's the end of it. The guy can't formulate an argument. Yeah, whatever. Again, they're not listening. These people didn't listen to the debate. You didn't listen to the debate service process. Get off the page. You too. Off the page. I would love to see Robert's face as he listens to this clown talk. Yeah, okay. See, I want you guys to see. Notice, nobody is bringing up any argument that I actually got defeated on. You notice that, right? It's all superficial stuff. I don't look honest. What the hell does that mean? Right? It's all superficial stuff. He doesn't look honest. He's doing taqiyya. What taqiyya? I'm making arguments. I'm providing the evidence. So what taqiyya actually? Right? This one here, I would love to see as this clown talks. Again, what's that got to do with anything? Superficial. Goodbye, Matthew Bogdan. Good off. I'll read everybody off the damn page if you ain't got nothing smart to say. Another one, General Echo. Best example. See, are y'all? You notice the pattern? Notice so far nobody actually offered any refutation to what I said in the debate, or nobody showed where Robert Spencer actually refuted me. Notice that, right? It's all superficial bullshit. You notice that, right? I don't look honest. This guy is embarrassing. I want to see this clown, listen to this clown talk. It's taqiyya, right? You notice that, right? Notice so far we done been through down the line. Nobody actually said, wow, Robert got him when Robert said this. Shadid lost the debate when Robert Spencer refuted him on. Nobody's offering that. You see it, right? Even the guy that I just erased earlier, the one who brought the verses and misquoted, see that? Even then, he still had the lie like Robert Spencer. Even that guy couldn't refute because he lied. He left off verse 190 and he left off verse 490. So even that was a failed attempt. So you notice none of the jackasses so far have been able to offer exactly where Robert Spencer supposedly beat me or embarrassed me or anything. Nobody's doing it. You notice that, right? Not a single damn one of them. So here's this guy, General Echo, taqiyya. It's always taqiyya, right? It's always taqiyya. See? Can't refute me. It's always taqiyya. All right, whatever. Next, get off. Get off. Wasn't it strange that all the troubled nations that needed to be liberated by Muslims just happened to be adjacent to the Islamic court? What is he talking about? What is he talking about? The nations that had to be liberated were adjacent to Muslims. What are you talking about? See, Fred Bampton, Bampot. This is the total stupidity of the Western centrist. Since when were you guys the liberators of anybody? Since when have you guys been the liberators? You've been the colonizers, sir. You've been the colonizers, not the liberators. So I don't know what you're talking about, what you said right there. Another person, Islam's definition of peace is when the whole world is under. Nope, that's not Islam's definition. See, again, it's always something sinister. It always has to be something sinister. See? It always has to be something sinister. But again, notice these are the ideas in their own head. Islam doesn't say that the whole world has to be under peace, under Islam to be at peace. David McLean, stupidity, complete stupidity. This debate could have started with that question and ended with okay. 2 seconds of video. Yeah. See, they as you notice, a lot of these people also are admitting that they didn't watch the debate. 2 minutes and he stops. 9 minutes and that's enough. You see? But, I know the reason. Because they hear me talk and they hear me make the case. That's why they're all saying it's taqiyya. Because they're so amazed that Islam actually is a religion of peace. They're so amazed that they actually heard me present the proofs. Right? They actually heard me present the proofs. And that's a shock to their system. Because they were so hung up that and believing that it was an evil religion. Because they never were challenged. They never really saw Robert Spencer be challenged before. So they thought Robert Spencer was telling them the truth. And then all of a sudden, here comes Mr. Brother Shadid. Mr. Islam Answers Back. And he's proven that Islam is a religion of peace. He's proven that the violent verses are not violent verses, but verses that deal with self-defense. And it actually says it's self-defense. Oh, no, they don't. Now they don't like that. So now they don't like that. Now they don't like that. So I'm going to just say it's taqiyya. So I can self-delude myself into hearing the truth that Islam is actually a religion of peace. And that there are actually verses that say, like the other guy, at least the other guy admitted that it was peaceful. He admitted, oh, those are peaceful verses, but he still had to get away from it. So it's a smoke screen, he said. The one guy, the one comment. It's a smoke screen, he said. See? Because they heard the evidence. They heard it. It wasn't no taqiyya. The verses are right there. You can all look in your Qur'ans right now, haters, and look at all those verses. It's no smoke screen. It's no taqiyya. Remember, everybody, according to them, taqiyya means that I'm lying about Islam. How could I be lying about Islam if the verses are right there that you can look at it right now? Go to your local library, get the Qur'an. It's right there. Go to Barnes and Nobles, get a Qur'an. The verses are right there. Go right online right now. Look up any website for Quranic verses. Any. Pick up a dozen Quranic websites and the verses are still going to be there, haters. So how is it taqiyya if the verses are right there, jackasses? How is it taqiyya? Again, remember, according to them, taqiyya means that you're lying about Islam. So how am I doing taqiyya according to your false version or definition of it, right? How am I doing taqiyya, your false definition of it, if the verses are right there? How am I lying if the verses are right there for you to read? Explain that to me, haters. Explain that to me, haters. How is it taqiyya if the verses are actually there that say self-defense, fight back against those who fight you, don't be the aggressor? How is it? How is it taqiyya, idiots? Yeah, you know. So this guy, what's his name? Robert Spencer made this again, another opinionated person. Robert Spencer made this guy look foolish. Obviously, he never studied legit. What's the legit history, Ryan? What's legit history, sir? Your version of it, the European Western version of it. Maybe you haven't studied legit history. Maybe you got your head up your ass too much listening to all the whitewashed. The whitewashed, yes, I mean just like that too. The whitewashed version of history. Maybe that's your problem. That you need to hear the history of the other side of the story too. The people who've been colonized. The people who got subjugated and put under systems of oppression by the Western Europeans, Christians and such. Maybe the problem is yours, Ryan, not mine. Okay. What's this? Wow. Good to see Allah's word was so clear. Even the high scholars can't. Yeah, whatever. Again, notice, everybody. Notice thus far, not one person has presented an actual argument. No one has pointed out an argument. No one has pointed out how Robert Spencer got me on this point or that point. No one has done that. All these comments are just a bunch of fanboys. All these comments are just nothing more than a bunch of fanboys. Now, we've read enough of them, so I want to move ahead because there's one that I wanted to pick up to show you as somebody. I know I told you that. Well, you already see a lot of these people obviously didn't listen. But there was one particular one that I was reading that the guy clearly lied. The guy clearly lied. Alhamdulillah, my brother Sammy 701, he responded on there about, Western civilization of peace. Exactly. But let me see if I can find that one. There's one that I wanted to get because the person made a blatant lie. He made a blatant lie. Let's see. Wait, what's this one say? PG 574. Mr. Lewis, and therefore Islam is a religion of peace for me. Note for me. Remember, Islam was spread on multiple continents with war and raids. False. Robert Spencer once again wins with facts. What facts? He has not to this day lost the debate. Oh, see, okay, that's just fanboy talk. That's this. He lost that day. PG 574. He lost that day. He lost the debate against Islam that day. I assure you. Okay? Because what facts are you talking about? What facts did he win with? What facts did he win with? I exposed how he was leaving out verses. I exposed from every angle, Quran, Hadith, the scholars, and even politically, how all his arguments were false and destroyed. So that's just fanboy talk right there. That's nothing but fanboy talk. The brother, many took this channel. Yeah, that's right. You know, I was feeling like that because every time I hear the lies, I'm like, man, I can't wait to get on the mic to refute this lying punk. But do Muslims lie about Islam? They do so very convincingly. Oh, cut it out, Aid Fagan, cut it out with your bigotry. Get that off my page. Get out of here, out, gone. Lewis just ran. Yeah, see all superficial stuff, but nobody's telling you how I lost. It's all super fanboy talk. It's all fanboy talk, but nobody's saying, again, point out where he got me, people. None of you are come on, off my page. Again, enough of these people. Let me get to that one. There was one guy. Let me see if I can find it. Here, let's look at this guy. What's this guy? Most chat. Listening to this debate has revealed one thing. that Muslims interpret the Quran and Hadith, etc., in as many different ways to attain their goal. Sir, the verses that I showed made it clear that you can't interpret it any other way. Sir, if a verse says, fight back against those who attack you, but do not be the aggressor, there's no other way to interpret that, sir. So don't give me this that they can interpret any way they want. If the verse says that if a person comes to you or leaves Islam and goes to a people between whom you and them is a treaty, and the person is not trying to fight you or fight their own people, and they want peace, then be at peace with them. Allah does not give you any way against them. That can't be interpreted any other way than what it says, most chat. If a verse in the Quran, which it does, says that Allah does not stop you from being kind and just to a people, as long as they are not trying to fight you for your religion or drive you forth from your homes, be at peace with them, for Allah loves those who do equity. Right? That can't be interpreted any other way than what it means, which is we can be at peace as long as you're at peace with us. So you guys are just upset and mad. These commenters are just upset and mad that I destroyed the false image of the evil Islam that they had in their imaginations. That's all you're seeing here, brothers and sisters. These people are just angry. They're upset that I destroyed their man, their so-called champion, Robert Spencer, and that I destroyed the false image that they have in their own imaginations about Islam. That's why these comments are like this. That's why they're upset. So he says what? The Muslim debater was totally off his rocker. Yeah, I'm off my rocker, yet I made clear, concise, and sound arguments, but I'm off my rocker. He made it sound like, oh, look at this. Listen to this one, everybody. This is actually an admission. Although he's being negative, but he's admitting. He said he made it sound like the Quran was the most peaceful thing since Jainism. Thank you, Most Chat, for admitting, even though you weren't trying to, but you basically admitted that I had made my case. He's really admitting that I made my case. He's admitting that I made my case. So the other stuff he said prior is just proof that he's angry and he's mad that I destroyed his image of the false Islam that he had in his imagination. And then he admits he made it sound like the Quran was the most, exactly. Because I did do that. I actually did do that. Because it is. I actually did do that because it is actually that. Again, everything I said, you can read it yourself. Every verse that I gave to make my point is in the Quran. Like I said, you can go to any Quran you want. Pick up the one in your local library. Pick up the one in Barnes and Nobles. Go to the ones that are online. Get one from your friend's house. Go to the local mosque and ask them to give you a Quran. And you're going to see those verses in every single one of those places. Nothing will change. Nothing will change, sir. Okay. Yes, this person brought up the part where I had to call them out on their hypocrisy. What's his name? Ali Reza Johari. Yes, he's right. I did that. I actually did show how the West is the one that spends the most money on weapons and military and all of that. Yet we're asking about is Islam a religion of peace, right? So this person brings it up. He says some points in his first 15 minutes. He compares the military expenditure of the USA with Arab countries. He is ignorant enough to compare the money, not the percent of GDP. It doesn't matter. That's a stupid argument. As I had proved that even compared to other countries, the United States still spends more than anybody else, right? It doesn't matter the GDP. The United States still spends more money on weapons than anybody else. And I proved to him that the United States spends more money on the military and weapons than they do on science, than they do on education, than they do on feeding the poor and all that. So I showed that the United States' agenda was clearly about war and violence, because the military budget is the biggest part of our budget. We spend more on that than we do on school. We got schools that are deteriorating here in the United States. Our education, we claim to be the best, right? The United States claim to be number one, the best. We're like, what are we like on the list of education in the world? We're not even, I don't even think we're in the top 10. I don't even think the United States is in the top 10 when it comes to education around the world. But we spend more money on all these weapons and wars and stuff like that. Got all these homeless people. What about Flint, Michigan, where the people are still, the water is still contaminated? It's been like, what, 5-6 years since the Flint, Michigan water problem came about, and still haven't fixed it. But yet billions are spent every year on war. Especially when it came to the Iraq war. Billions were spent. They said we was hitting billions. Well, I think at one point, $1 billion got spent in 1 month. That $1 billion could have cleaned up the water in Flint, Michigan. So I'm sorry, Ali Reza. I made that point, and it was a valid point to show me that you guys don't have any leg to stand on to be talking about religion of peace when you guys are the ones going out of your way to spend more money on war and violence. All right? So his argument is completely fallacious. Completely fallacious. He said, what? So, interest, Saudi Arabia spends 10% of its budget on the military. The U.S. spends 3%. No, that's a lie, sir. I gave the statistics during the debate. They know the U.S. does not spend no 3% on the military. No, 3% goes to health care and feeding people, feeding poor people. Not 3% for the military. Liar. Liar. Off my page with the lies. Off my page with the lies. Good going, Robert. You cleaned this clock. Isabella Cruz. How? How did he do it, Isabella? How did he clean my clock? See? Fanboy stuff. Fanboy, fangirl stuff. Off my page. Now, again, I want to find that person who let me see if I can find that comment. Let's see. Shadid Lewis let Robert Spencer pee on his boxer. Okay. Off the page with the silliness. See? Notice nobody actually can make is making a sound argument. What's this here? Oh, okay, here we go. Well, here's one. This is not one, but this is somebody making a claim, right? This Joaquin Gonzalo. He says Quran says that we should abrogate verses for better ones. Wrong, Joaquin Gonzalo. The Quran does not say, and I addressed this during the debate also. And I gave proof from it also. The Quran does not say that we should abrogate it for better ones. Liar. Shadid Lewis says not. Exactly. I says not, and I proved not. Not only did I say not, but I proved that wasn't the case. But why does Shadid go against the Quran, uphold a conflict of interpretation? What are you talking about? I didn't go against the Quran at all, Jacqueline. I used the Quran to make my point. I don't know what you're talking about. Because it suits the Muslims, so they can choose to fool the unbelievers. And at the same time, kill and conquer the unbelievers with the. Oh boy, you see, this is nothing more than garbage fanboy talk. Garbage fanboy talk. Not only did I say not, but I proved not. I proved that the claims of abrogation was false. I proved it. But again, you see, this is proof. These people, all these comments you see, these people are just upset. I destroyed their image of the evil Islam. I proved that they have a false image, that their narrative about Islam is false. I proved it, and they know it. They're admitting it. A lot of these comments should be looked upon as admissions that I made my case, and that they're just mad. They're just mad. They're just mad that I proved. Okay. But let me see, I want to find, because there was another person who said something similar. There was another person who said that I ignored that the Quran says that the peaceful verses are abrogated by the violent verses. I was like, what? Where does the Quran say that at? This person says, I don't believe a word that Mr. See that they don't listen. See, this proves to you that these people already had their bias. Read the Quran. Yeah, read the Quran yourself. Sleeping Beauty is now wide awake. Yeah, Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, read the Quran yourself and you'll see the verses that I prove that it's not an evil cult at all. But it's just like I proved in the debate. It's a religion that is peaceful but acknowledges that you have the right to self-defense. If you don't like that, too bad. If you don't like it, too bad. Okay? Too bad for you. Lie, yeah, okay, see? Yeah. Silly fanboy. Nobody noticed thus far, not a single comment has made a point to say where I got refuted or whatever. Nobody's able to do that. What's this? Athea Marcos Amir says, Mr. Lewis conveniently omits saying the goal of world domination is written. Where, Athea? Where is that written at? That's not anywhere in the Quran, ma'am. Sorry, but I proved that in the debate already. Because again, I showed where the Quran says that you can be at peace with those as long as they're not trying to fight you or drive you from your homes, that you be at peace with them. Islam does not have to dominate. Matter of fact, I showed during the debate as well that the Quran shows in over a dozen verses, it says that you can either believe or disbelieve. There are over a dozen verses that say you can either believe or disbelieve. It says that if you turn away, then the messenger's job is only to deliver the message. Sorry, Athea Marcos Amir, you don't know what you're talking about. Again, you see, it's clear that these people have a false image of Islam in their heads. These are all the concocted false beliefs that they were either heard from somebody else who's lying to them, like Spencer, or they made up these lies themselves, like Athea is said right here. It's not written in the Quran anywhere about world domination, ma'am. So you're wrong. You're wrong. Okay, here's one in support of me. That was good. Here's somebody who supported me, at least other than Brother Sammy 701. I don't know what's this person. Zero Sorzi says, "Great job, Robert Spencer. Great job at twisting things and misinforming people about Islam." Now that person watched the debate. That person watched the debate. Alhamdulillah. Great. Somebody watched the debate at least. Here's another person trying to make an argument based upon my saying of peace, my greetings of peace to the Muslims. Meanwhile, he has the Crusader symbol in his Slim Reaper. He has the Crusader symbol in his as his profile pic. Wow. Making silly arguments for anything, man. Why, as a Muslim, you know why? Okay, internet, you know why I showed it? Because again, if you watch the video and listen to my arguments, it doesn't destroy the Quran. That's why I put it up there. If I felt that I had gotten beat, or if I knew I didn't do a good job, by all means, I wouldn't have put it up. The fact that I put it up and I promote it because I want people to see how Robert Spencer got defeated in this debate. Because I'm sure he did. I'm sure if anybody objectively listens and watches, that they will see that he was defeated in this debate. His arguments were defeated. They were destroyed. And I proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that Islam is indeed a peaceful religion. That's why I show it, because I know that I'm confident that if you watch it unbiasedly, as we saw though from the comments, many of these people already had a bias. Or they already told you they weren't going to listen. They already said, I look like I'm dishonest. I can't stand this clown. I can't this, right? So they already told you that they weren't listening. But again, I know that if you listen and watch unbiasedly, that you would hear the facts and see that I've made my case that Islam is a religion of peace and that Robert Spencer was misinforming people just like the other person just said in a comment that I read a few moments ago. I'm sure of that. Okay? Now I was trying to find this one. I can't find it, but I was trying to find this one comment where the guy said that I ignored that the peaceful verses were abrogated. As a matter of fact, he said the Quran says that the peaceful verses are abrogated. So, of course, we know that the Quran does not say that the peaceful verses are abrogated, but he said that. I wanted to see. Alhamdulillah, here's a good supporter right here. Truth Revealed. Truth Revealed said, "Good job, Shadid. You debated two guys at a time." It's right, yeah, I guess right, because I had to answer. There was a part where we were being moderated, and I had to answer, not only to, of course, debating Robert, but the host. What's his name? I think his name was Al Cresta. He's the host of this Christian, Christian, but it's a Catholic radio show. And he was the moderator. So there was a point where he was asking me questions too. So not only am I answering Robert Spencer, but I had to answer the moderator's questions towards me as well. So alhamdulillah, Truth Revealed was like, yeah, good job, Sadid. You debated two guys at a time, and it was very evident that they were not giving you enough time to speak. Plus, they were supporting each other. Funny, Robert Spencer says Christian scholars are not fallible, so don't quote them. Then he, throughout the debate, shamelessly quotes so-called Islamic scholars. Shadid kept saying, quote the actual scholars. Robert plus the moderator equals Christian dishonesty at its best. Thank you for that, brother. Truth Revealed. Appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Okay. Here's the Sami Samat again. Again, notice just Takia. It's all Takia. No argument. You're out of here. Off my page. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. I don't know what this is. Don't be promoting other people's stuff on my page, so I don't know what that is. Get that out of here. You keep trying. Okay, I sure will. Nakhil Jai. I sure will. Again, like I said, I'm trying to find that one where I don't see it though. Lewis must not understand the concept of debate. No, Propane Philosopher, you must not understand the concept of debate. Again, if you would have listened to the debate, you would have heard that I made my points. Propane, again, if you would listen to the whole debate, you would have seen that I brought that up briefly to expose the hypocrisy of them even coming to me and asking that Islam, we have to prove to them. That was my point. I brought that up in brief to show them that their hypocrisy in coming to me, and that I have to prove to them that Islam is peace when they are the ones with all the nuclear weapons. They are the ones who doing all the invasions and the bombings and spending all of the majority of their money on weapons and war. That was the point, and it was only a brief moment. So cut it out. Throughout the whole debate, I dealt with the subject, so stop it. Cut it out. Okay? Another dishonest person. Off my page. Get out. Off. Out. Islam is the religion of war, mass murder, enslavement. Okay, so you had Carl Sweden, you had nothing to say, right? Okay. Off my page. Peace equals order within a community, an Islamic community. Nope. Joseph Johnson, wrong. And as a black man, you should know better than that. Joseph Johnson, as a black man, you should know better than that. That's not what Islam teaches. Okay, as a black man, you should know better than that. To be lying on people like that, you should know better than that. Okay? As I had already proved, see, again, this is proof people don't listen. Joseph Johnson, during the debate, I showed where even Islamic scholars say that there can be treaties between Muslim nations and non-Muslim nations, and the other people don't have to be under jizya. It can be a mutual neutral treaty where you stay on your side, we stay on our side, and we are at peace, and the other side does not have to be under any domination of the Muslims or under jizya. So you didn't listen, Joseph Johnson. And again, shame on yourself as a black man for promoting these bigoted lies. Shame on you. Shame on you. What is this metal? What is this person Meadows? What are you promoting? Yo, man, look. You promote your stuff on your own page, okay? Meadows 1, not on my page. You put your garbage on your own page, okay? What is this? What is this stuff you promoting here? No, off. Get it out of here. Okay? What's this? DJ Markey? No, it isn't. Okay, you didn't watch the debate. So you are. Get it out of here. Okay? Darso. Here's Darso. Let's see. Darso M. You said, considering the Quran is supposed to be mubin or clear, yeah. Why is Surah 68 so very clear in Allah's Muhammad Mubin clear book? Huh? It is clear. It says that if they incline to peace, you should be in peace. No, that's the verse that says that, right? As long as the people are not trying to fight you, you be at peace with them. So what's your point? Why are you trying to be sarcastic about it? He says, yet when it comes to Surah 929, it suddenly becomes. I never said 929 wasn't unclear. I showed that it was clear based upon the context, which was that the Muslims have been under attack. I showed you that. I always tell these people, if you read, go back a few verses or several verses ahead in chapter 9, and you will see that the Muslims were still under attack. It says that Muslims have been attacked first. That the Muslims have been attacked first, Darso. So I don't know what you're talking about. It suddenly becomes unclear. It's not unclear. Do you guys, and this is the same thing that I engage when I'm online, when I'm dealing with people on Pal Talk or here on Twitter or whatever. It's like, do you guys not know how to read? Did you go to school? Did your damn school not teach you about context? Did they not teach you that you can't just take a statement by itself? because it could be misunderstood alone. That you need to read before and after sometimes. And sometimes you may have to read several places before or several places after in order to get the clear understanding of what's being said. Did you not learn that in school, Darso M? These people, I tell you, boy. Here's Joseph Johnson again. Ignorant criminals who have no official. Yes, that is the qualifier, or rather the disqualifier of those people, Joseph Johnson. Because again, Joseph Johnson, you see, these people are being asshole. Oh, excuse me. They're being asinine. Okay, they're being asinine because of the fact that during the debate, I quoted where qualified scholars said that those people were ignorant. Joseph, you mad, Joseph? Right? Did I not quote where qualified scholars themselves said that these people who are running around talking about jihad are ignorant? Did I not quote that? I quoted qualified scholars who said that what these people are doing shows that they are not educated and have no official understanding of Islam. I said that and I proved it. Okay? So, come on, Joseph, don't do that. Don't do that, Joseph Johnson, when I clearly was able to provide the statements of qualified scholars who would know better, right? So come on. Oh, here's Robert. Oh, I missed this one. Robert Black. Please call Christian Prince. Robert Black, UK. Please tell Christian Prince to call me. As I keep telling you guys, tell him to step out of his comfort zone and face a challenge where he's not in control, Robert Black. So tell Christian Prince, Robert Black, please call Brother Shadid. Please go and challenge Shadid on his page, Robert. Tell him to do that. Tell him to step in my zone and let's see how good he is. Tell him, Robert Black. Tell Christian Prince to please go challenge Brother Shadid on his platform and let him prove to you, Robert Black, that he's such a good debater when he's not in control, Robert Black, UK. Do that for me, okay? Do that for me. Say, Christian Prince, I'm Robert Black, UK. I believe in you, Christian Prince. But you know what? I want to see how you can perform when you're not on your telephone program. So you can't hang up on the person or mute their mic. Come on, Christian Prince. I'm your friend, Robert Black. I believe in you. Show me how good you are that you can step into the Muslim territory and debate them on their own home, on their own turf. Come on. Do that, Christian Prince, for your fan, Robert Black. So, Robert Black, tell Christian Prince to call me. Tell him to call me and face me on my platform. I'm waiting. Okay, Robert Black. So that's what you need to do. Now, like I said, I can't find that comment, man. Who is this Meadows person with all what is this, man? What is this? Posting all this other stuff on my thing, man. Don't try to use my page to get you clout for your own stuff. No. Sorry, Meadows one. No. Get that off my page, man. Don't try to use my page to get clout for yourself. No. You promote your videos on your own platform, sir. Get it out of here. Get that out of here. Okay? Get that out of here. Off. Okay? Thank you. Allahu Akbar means God is the greatest for your support. Appreciate that. 2 years ago. Great. All right. So, again, I can't find that one comment that I wanted to find. Maybe I overlooked it. But like I said, there was one guy who made a comment and said that, what did he say? He said that I quoted all the peaceful verses, right? And then he charges that I quoted all the peaceful verses, but I leave out that the Quran says that all the peaceful verses are abrogated by the violent verses, which of course, as you know, that there's nothing that says that. Nowhere does the Quran say that all the peaceful verses are abrogated by the violent verses. I wanted to find that comment, but I don't see it. Maybe I overlooked it. But yeah, there was a comment that said that, and I wanted to address it, but I don't see it. I don't see it. But that was what he said. So yeah, nothing. Of course, nothing says that. As you know, right? As we all know, there's nothing in the Quran that says that The peaceful verses are all abrogated by the violent verses. But by the way, again, that's another proof that these people don't listen. Matter of fact, let me see. Was it in the replies down here? Maybe it was in one of the plies. Oh, here it is right here. Yes, here we go right here. Here it is. I found it. Y'all see this one right here on the screen? Wait, hold on. This one right here. This person named Trimoni. Look what he said. He says, I thought the Muslim apologist did an okay job considering he had to defend an indefensible position. All right, whatever. However, all he can say at the end is to only look at peaceful verses and to ignore all the violent verses in the Quran and see them as peaceful in context, which I did, and they are, because they were clearly in self-defense, and to ignore all the Muslim scholars who say otherwise. Again, Trimoni, you're ignoring that I quoted Muslim scholars who support my position. So to say that I'm telling you people to ignore scholars, no, because I quoted Muslim scholars. So basically, you're telling people to ignore the scholars that I quoted. But not only that, to ignore the verses that I quoted that clearly make my case. So not only did I have the support of the Quran itself to back me up, but then yes, I quoted Muslim scholars that said that what I was saying was correct. So you're telling people to do the opposite. You're saying, oh, ignore the peaceful verses and ignore the context. And ignore the scholars that say that what Mr. Shadid said was correct. Ignore that. That's what you're saying. Okay. So he says, to ignore all the Muslim scholars who say otherwise, and to ignore all the active jihadists engaging in terror and wars of aggression around the globe. First of all, none of these groups. They're groups. So can't no damn group wage no war of aggression. Okay. This is another fallacy. These are groups. Okay, how the hell can a group wage a war against anybody? It's a group. Okay, Al Qaeda is a group. ISIS is a group. All these groups out there are groups. That's all they are. So I don't know how you could trying to compare a group to being able to wage a war. A war takes an army, a navy, an air force. That's when we talking war. That's war. These groups don't have any of that. So the fact that you're trying to exaggerate it to say that these groups are somehow some kind of war, come on now, cut it out. Don't cut it out. And I didn't tell anybody to ignore anything, right? We never denied the fact that there are Muslims out there doing bad things. And in fact, during the debate, I brought that up. But I brought up again the hypocrisy to show why these groups and individuals were committing the acts. Remember, during the debate, I brought up the article by Glenn Greenwald, who researched what was the motivation of these jihadists, these so-called jihadists and these terrorists. And Glenn Greenwald, who's not a Muslim, in his research, he proved by showing the statements of these people themselves that their motivation was not that Islam told them to just wage war on unbelievers. Their motivation was not they just hate non-Muslims. Their motivation was not that Allah says kill all unbelievers or Muhammad said kill unbelievers. Their motivation, crimony, was that the U.S. had killed civilians. Their motivation was that the Western powers had bombed or invaded Muslim lands, killed Muslim women, killed Muslim children. Right? That was their motivation. All of them said that was their motivation. Now, as I said during the debate, that doesn't justify them committing the acts of violence. However, it does disprove you guys' claims that Islam is is an evil religion. Because all of them said that their motivation was that they saw Muslim children die. Right? They saw Muslim children die. They saw Muslim women and children die. They saw Muslim villages bombed and destroyed. Their hometowns were bombed. Their hometown were destroyed. Or maybe members of their family have been killed in an airstrike who were not members of ISIS. They're civilians. Right? They're civilians. All of them said that was their motivation. Again, that doesn't make their actions correct. But we see that their motivation was not what you guys claim it is. It wasn't that they read the Quran and they said, oh, the Quran says this. Yeah, let me go out and do something. No. It wasn't that they read Muhammad's story and said, oh, Muhammad, yeah, I'm going to act like Muhammad and start killing. No, because Muhammad didn't do that. And they don't say that that was their motivation. They don't say that I read a hadith and the hadith taught me to just kill unbelievers. No. None of them used that as an argument. None of them. All of them said the same thing. Their motivation was that they saw that their families or other Muslims were being killed by invasions, bombings, missile strikes, airstrikes, killed by soldiers from the Allied forces or whatever. That's what they said their motivation was. That's what they said their motivation was. And you guys don't like that because if you acknowledge that point, right? If you acknowledge that point, you then have to face the fact that you are the cause of these people's actions. And you don't want to do that. You never, right? You people never want to acknowledge that, right? You never want to face the fact that you are the one that is the cause and effect of the actions because you did something wrong to them first. See, in order for you to acknowledge that, you would have to then admit that you did something wrong to them first. All of these people said that that was their motivation in that article by Glenn Greenwald. All of them. He went through like all of the most common and recent acts of terror, right? He went through all of the recent acts, and he got the words of those people themselves, whether it was the underwear bomber, the shoe bomber, 9/11 terrorists. He went through all the various recent acts of terror that happened in the last several years, right? He went through, and he got the statements from the perpetrators or the suspects. And he showed how every one of them had the same common denominator. And it was they were motivated because of injustices against Muslims. They were motivated because they saw Muslim children and women being killed and bombed by drones or airstrikes or missile strikes, or that the occupying soldiers were mistreating the Muslims in their country, whatever. It was always that. It was always that. It was never Islam told me to do. It was never I read the Quran and said, so I got up and started killing. It was never that. It was never the life of Muhammad taught me. No, it was never that. It was never I read a hadith, so I got up and I started killing. No, it was never that. It was always motivated by the injustice and acts committed against Muslims. Again, I repeat, it does not justify what they did. I repeat, it does not justify what they did. However, it does give us insight into what motivated them. And of course, the reason why people and investigators always look into the motivation is so that you can understand what's going on, what started this. The motivation was injustices and abuses against Muslims, killing Muslim children and Muslim women and killing innocent civilians. That was their motivation. You guys don't want to face that, and you don't want to hear that, because to do so you must then admit and take responsibility for the wrongdoings and injustices that you perpetrated first against them. And we know Western arrogance doesn't want to do that. Both Western and white and Eurocentric arrogance never wants to take responsibilities for the injustices and evil acts that they perpetrate against other people. Right? They didn't want to do it in South Africa. That's why they put Nelson Mandela in jail for years. Because they didn't want to face the fact that what Nelson Mandela was saying was true. Here in America, they didn't want to face it when Malcolm X told it. They didn't want to face the responsibility. So they set Malcolm X to be killed. Even when Martin Luther King was telling them, they set him up to be killed as well. Right? The various civil rights leaders here in the United States, they never want to hear it, whether it's the Muslims saying it, or it's black people saying it, or it's the native indigenous people saying it, or it's whoever else they're doing wrong. They never want to acknowledge and face and take responsibility for the actions that they have done that cause other people to act out in retaliation for what you did to them first. Again, it doesn't make it right. I repeat, it doesn't make it right. I don't agree with harming innocent people in return. I do not agree with that. I condemn it, and I have done so in many of my videos. Okay? So I make that clear. At the same time, again, though, we cannot Get away from the motivating factor. And see, that's why you guys promote that false narrative that it's Islam. See, instead of taking responsibility for your injustices perpetrated against these people, you want to deflect and blame and say, oh, it's Islam that did it. No, it's not Islam. It's you're bombing them that did it. It's Islam. It's Muhammad's life that makes them do that. No, it's your bombing them that did it. It's your invading their lands that did it. It's your missile strikes against their innocent civilians that killed their women and their children that did it. But you don't want to face responsibility. You guys never do. That's why there's still racism in America today. That's why there's still racism in America today. Because you amongst your people, there are too many of you who do not want to face responsibility for the evils that you commit. And until you face that responsibility, racism in America will still be here. Until you face that responsibility, the injustices around the world will continue to take place. You guys don't want to take responsibility for the actions that you caused. You caused these actions. You caused these people to become hostile. You did it because of your injustice against them. And you don't want to take responsibility. That's what caused this stuff. Trimony. And I said that during the debate. Okay. But yeah, as I said, yeah, you know, he's the one that is, you know, this is the one that was making that comment about, you know, about the verses and stuff. So all right, so yeah, this person here seen that they were responding back. Desi Gujar, yeah, he was responding back. So yeah, that was good. And so yeah, see, this is how they do. You're cherry picking. No, it's not cherry picking, man. It's not cherry picking. But again, these are the ways that these are the arguments that they make up to avoid facing the facts. That's all to it. These are the things that they make up to avoid facing the facts. All right. So there we go. Enough of the comments. All right. Enough of the comments. All right. Enough of the comments right there. So just wanted to, you know, address it and, you know, let you guys see. No, Spot the Cat. It's not the victim, but you know what? I'm gonna say it in reverse. Yeah, same old white oppressive denier. Yeah, same old white oppressive denier of the facts that you guys are the bombers and the invaders. Yep. Never anything to do with what you guys have done to these people. Yep. Spot the Cat. Yep. Same old Western arrogance. You ain't done nothing wrong, and it's always the other people. Yep. Never anything to do with Western domination and white racism. Yep. Same old same. Yep. And again, Spot the Cat. Everything I said, I backed it up. So it's not about Islamic victim. But you know what? That's a defense mechanism for the Western centrists and the Western supremacists, because they do the same thing when it comes to racism too, right? Whenever black people talk about racism, guess what their response is? Here you go with the victim mentality. Black people with the victim mentality. Because they don't want to take responsibility for their damn actions against people. So instead of acknowledging what black people are telling you, here black people go with the victim mentality. Why don't you black people stop with the victim mentality? No, how about won't you stop abusing black people? Why don't you stop your goddamn racism against black people? How about that? And you know, they make it like a victim is being like, you know, because you're a victim, that's the bad thing. That's victim blaming. So they want to blame the victim. They want to blame the victim instead of acknowledging that you perpetrated an injustice. We are justified in speaking about this injustice. This ain't no victim narrative. It's a true narrative. And you just don't want to take responsibility for it. Look, I don't care if you're not white. Even if you're not white, you're still using a white racist narrative. Okay? So even if you're not white, you're still promoting a white racist narrative. You heard of Uncle Toms and sellouts, right? Right? No, racist what? What racist what? What did I say that was racist? What did I say that was racist? Okay? Don't try to run away with that, Art. Don't try to run away with that. Don't try to run away with that. Okay? Whether you're white or not, you're still using a white racist trope that blames the victims, plain and simple. So even if you're a black guy using that, then you're a little Sambo Uncle Tom coon using white racist talking points. If you're from India and you're saying it, you're using white racist talking points. If you're a Latino saying it, you're using white racist talking points. If you're Chinese and you're saying it, you're using white racist talking points. You got me? So even if you're not white, you're still using white racist tropes to deflect away from the injustices and abuses that white racists have used against other people, whether individually or as a system and a nation. Okay? No, it's you. Okay? It's you. You're the one not acknowledging the point. You're the one talking about victim. That's like if a woman gets raped and you blame her for getting raped. And by the way, you guys do that too, right? Isn't that something that you guys do in your society too? That's why there's a thing called victim blaming. Because for some reason, the white male dominated society never want to take responsibility. So even when it comes to their own women, they blame the victim. That's why there's a thing called victim blaming. Because they're so used to not taking responsibility. Even if their damn woman is raped, they blame the woman. Oh, you shouldn't have been doing it. You shouldn't have been dressed like that. All these stupid excuses, but they don't want to say, well, shouldn't the guy not have kidnapped her and raped her? Should not the guy have grabbed her off the street? They never talk about that part. So the same thing when it comes to the racism. Shouldn't you not have racially profiled me? Right? Shouldn't you not have discriminated against me because of my color? When it comes to the Muslims, it should be, shouldn't you not have invaded their country? Shouldn't you not have did a missile strike that killed a bunch of civilians? Right? Shouldn't you not have occupied their nation? Right? It's never that though. It's always the victim blaming. And then when we talk about it, these bastards want to run away and talk about, oh, it's always the victim narrative. Right? Shut up, man. Get off my page. Get out of here. Be quiet. Right? Quiet. Hush yourself. All right? Hush yourself. Because you don't want to face the facts, right? You don't want to face the facts. You just don't want to face the facts. Look at you deflecting. Not once, notice not once have you even acknowledged anything I said about the bombings, right? You notice you haven't even acknowledged that. At least you could say, well, yeah, they are bombing, but you didn't even say that. Notice you didn't even say that. You didn't even say, yeah, there's bombings. At least even say the two wrongs don't make a right argument, but you didn't even say that. You notice that, right? You didn't even acknowledge the point. You didn't even say, well, yeah, okay, you're right. They are bombing Muslim countries, and I don't agree with that, but no, you didn't even do that. So you proved my point, you arrogant bastard. You proved my point. That you didn't even, in this whole thing, not once did you acknowledge the point of the fact that what I said is there's some truth to it, right? You didn't even acknowledge that point. You didn't even say, well, you're right, yeah, you're right. They did bomb their countries. They have killed Muslim civilians and women and children. They have invaded. They have occupied. I could understand why they'd be upset. You didn't even say that because you can't. Because you're an arrogant white Western supremacist prick. So you can't even acknowledge that point. You can't even say, well, I could understand why they'd be upset. Because I know if America got invaded, or our civilians got killed, I'd be upset. No, you can't even do that. You can't even empathize. You see these people, brothers and sisters? They can't even empathize with us. Because they're too damn arrogant. You too damn arrogant, Spot the Cat. But that's too bad for you, all right? Too bad for you. Well, so look, let's go ahead and wrap this up, brothers and sisters. So as I said, I know it's been a while since I did a video, and it's gonna be that way for a while, brothers and sisters. It's gonna be that way because just some situations, all right? But I'll try to, as best I can, and whenever I can get a show, I'll try to do my best to always make sure, we get the shows going. As always, I appreciate the support of my supporters. Alhamdulillah, may Allah reward you. For the haters, you know where you can go, right? For the haters, you know where you can go, right? You know where you can go. I don't care nothing about you. You know where you can go. But for my supporters, appreciate the support. We're always looking for more support. Again, my Patreon is available, right? So you can always support us through there. And remember, like I said, I always, for those who are new, if you become my Patreon supporter, you get exclusive benefits for being a supporter, right? On Patreon, you get exclusive access to my debate materials, my debate notes. This is only exclusive to you now. So only my supporters who donate through my Patreon, you get access to the exclusive content reserved for my Patreon supporters. All right. So you'll have access to my like I said, my actual debate notes that you can use for yourself in your own personal discussions, or if you have aspirations to become a debater, inshallah, those will help you. You know what I mean? The Patreon also gives you personal, if you want, personal, we can, like personal help from me. Like if you want a video to be made or a response to be made about something, or you need direct help to help you. You want to answer somebody back. Maybe you're talking to somebody in your family about Islam, and you want to, they asked you a certain question and you want help in answering it or refuting it or whatever. The Patreon gives you access to these certain things. So avail yourself of the advantages of being a Patreon supporter. And like I said, you get, because of that, I show my appreciation by giving you access to special, exclusive content just for my supporters. All right. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. Like I said, I was just going through my videos and I happened to stop and look at the debate with Spencer and looking at the comments. And I'm seeing all these comments that a bunch of haters. And I'm like, man, it's clear these people have not listened to the debate as you saw it demonstrated throughout the show. So again, appreciate you guys' help and support. May Allah reward you all and keep us all. Alhamdulillah. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. All right.